Well, hello everyone watching this amazing video. I'm so happy you're here. I will tell you today about the last two boys I made for Pretty Boytober. Pretty Boytober is when in all October you draw pretty boys according to a prompt list I set up months ago. Even though I was the one hosting it, I guess you could say hosted, I just made the list, honestly. I did not went through and drew all of them. Work got in the way. I really need to draw for my job. And last year I did Pretty Boytober, and when I did it, it actually went pretty great on YouTube. So that like covered my month expenses pretty well. This year, absolutely not. My channel is still kind of struggling after being hidden, blah blah blah. So maybe more about that in another video. Let's now talk about boys. This one is bows. I kind of forgot what it was. It's bows, and I didn't really know what to do with it. Bows can be multiple things. English is a great language. It could be like bowing, you know, like hello, but it can also be with a bow and arrow. That can also be a thing. Or you can go with fabric made one, bows. And I went for that one. And I simply just made a little bit of bows on his back. And I thought this one was actually very boring. I still do. So I tried to spice it up with with a pattern of flowers, because that made it maybe seem a bit more interesting. It didn't really work that well. So I also gave him short hair. In the sketch you could see I first thought about long hair because that's what I think about 24/7, but I finally went for short hair. I'm changing his jaw a bit here. That's a little foreplay for the next character, because that one is like just most of the Speedpaint is editing there. You'll see it later. Now I'm shading him. And I'm doing some shading on his top. I first did purple like shading, but you can see later on I went to blue, because with bluish colors, blue shading works actually much better than purple. I usually go for purple because I find it to be a very nice color, but not for this blue color schemed boy. His highlights are bows, because I'm very creative. Probably my favorite thing about him are his highlights. I try to do different highlights every time, and this time I went for bows because the prompt was bow. Cool, there it is, bows. And then he's done, and now we're going to next one, which the prompt is desperate. And at first I didn't really know what to do, and then I realized, wait, maybe I can do something with a character I already have. So I chose a character I think I draw the most of all my characters. I drew him before in this on this channel. I drew him a lot on all my other social media, but it's the king character, Dande, and he is a king of a kingdom, but he walks away, he runs away because he's very paranoid of like assassins or kidnappers and things like that. Things that come with power, you know. So he is sort of panic, blah blah, and then he is so desperate for not to feel that anymore, he runs away and then he cuts off his hair. That's what I wanted to draw. Now you're gonna see me struggle a lot. This sketch here, I don't really think that's how you hold scissors, but then again, the final result is probably also not how you hold scissors. I went for a more desperate, like in panicked expression, but I'm not the best at expression yet. I still try to do more with that because I really like very expressionist faces in art, so I really wanted to try that more. It seems to be a really cool thing to draw. So I wish I could made him a bit more desperate, a little bit more panicked, but that's eventually something else. So yeah, he cuts off his hair, as you can see here. I first do the body, and then the wrap part is on a different layer, because that's the hair, and the scissors, I guess. Yeah, I wanted him to first have a very tall hair, long hair, very long hair. I'll show something on screen, you know, like plop. Here's the screen's standing still. Okay, it's back. Whatever. I will show you how he looks like with long hair, and then out of desperation, the prompt, he cuts it off and runs away, and then he has very shaggy, bad unkept hair while sitting on a boat with some pirates, as you do when you walk away. Anyway, I'm doing the line art now, and as I said before, this one is gonna be pretty long. We're not at all at the ending here yet. When Bo's boy, last time, when the line art is almost done, the character is almost done, because the shading on these drawings is not that hard, but for this guy, I had to edit so much because it was just not working. I had so much trouble with this drawing, and I didn't even have to design him because he's already designed. Talking about his design, if you are unaware of him, I talked about this before, but you know, I don't expect A, people to remember shit, or B, to know everything about me, or C, watch all my videos. So it's not it's not bad if you don't know, but I'm gonna tell you if you don't. This guy is inspired. His design is based on a peacock. I find peacocks to be really beautiful royal creatures, so I really wanted to design almost like a whole kingdom around it, where they really appreciate, they really like peacocks and their king. Every single king is always dressed very extraordinary like a peacock, and even though it pretty clashes with his personality, which is pretty kind and normal, I do really like the contrast of that. Also, as you can see, I wanted his nails to be like ragged as well, ragged. So it seems like he bites them out of panic. I also think he would like pull out his hair. I think that's a thing he would do too. He's based on a peacock. His servants are based on peahens, the brown female ones. They're not all female or something. They're just based on the brown lovely birds. I'm trying to change his look a bit here, because again, I want him to be a bit more desperate, but his chin and his neck is pretty narrow, where his skull is just very broad compared to it. So I will change it later on. I'm trying to do an open mouth more here, again for a more panic look, but I do wish, even though it's better than I had before, I do wish it could have been a bit more panicked, because I really had a scene in my head and I really wanted that to be the thing I drew on paper, but it just didn't work out that much as I wanted to. I don't hate it though. I like how it turned out. Here he has some brown hair, and then we're gonna do his shirt. His shirt, of course, has a peacock pattern. Well, very fakely, but still kind of looks like it. Oh, I thought I was already drawing it. It's not. Oh, now I'm gonna do the editing. Oh, are you ready? It is better, but it does take some long time. What I do is I always have the whole drawing I'm making in one folder, and when you select a folder and not a separate layer, you can edit everything, and everything will be kept on its own layer, but you can move things around at the same time. It's very handy. I do it all the time, and that's what I'm doing now. I edit everything, and then I unhid all the layers, or I hide all the layers, and then I am fixing all the line art. I'm fixing his ear, I'm fixing every hair. I try to put hair everywhere where I am not sure how the normally looks there. It's very handy for hiding stuff you're unsure about. And then his eyes a bit different too. And I think this is the final. Yeah, this is the final thing I went with. Much better in my opinion. It's much more balanced. So I am very happy I did that. But it did take a very long time. I think this guy took me the longest out of every single boy from Pretty Boy Tober. It's not necessarily the reason I quit. Again, I did it because of work reasons. I had to do different stuff. I had to earn money with other drawings, and then, you know, when the day's finally done, I didn't want to draw even more. I have different hobbies. Oh, look, here's the peacock pattern I was talking about. I was so sure I was drawing it. Even though I'm looking at the screen right now while narrating, I was so sure I was already drawing it when I talked about it. Putting some shading on top. I'm hiding the pattern for a bit just so it isn't distracting while making shading. And of course, a good gold rim, because what is a Looji design without a gold rim? It's beautiful. Shading all that hair. I do think maybe I should have made the hair a bit more straight at the end, like it was really cut instead of like these pointy things, but his hair ends up being more pointy, so it's not very realistic for someone just cutting their hair. But maybe he just is accidentally pretty okay. Oh, now we're gonna do the highlights. Even though I tried to make the highlights a bit like the prompt, here I did crowns because this character is a king. Haha. Wow. So it doesn't have anything to do with being desperate. It does have something to do with the character I'm drawing. Not everything is in crown, but I did like the shape, and it eventually does read as crowns, you know. I'm making some optical illusion on the scissors here. Please ignore it. Coloring the line art and doing some great white lining. I really like the white lining. It really makes it a bit more readable, and especially around the lashes. I always really like doing it there and over his whole little hand. And I'm gonna do sparkles at the crowns. I will forget one. I discovered that way later. I forgot one crown. Maybe that's nothing to you. For me, that's very annoying because that's just how my body decided to be. And there we have it, the last two boys. I really want to thank you for watching and listening to my voice for, well, at least 12 minutes. And I really want to thank my patrons as well. They're on screen right now. You guys are cool. You deserve a great, good glass of milk. You deserve it. You really help me out more than you think. So if you want to help me out too, you can do that by liking this video, by subscribing. Those things are free. If you want to do a bit more, you can also support me on Patreon. I also have all my other social media linked down there for other stuff. Who knows? Sometimes I just upload stuff, you know? It's crazy.